Hello students, I am Pushprata Miss. Welcome to my channel. I hope you all are safe at home. Stay home and stay safe. Today let us continue lesson number 6. Earliest empires in that monarchies. Monarchies as opposed to Ganasangas were ruled by one person. Kingship was hereditary. Hereditary means that the king was not elected by the people, but the throne was passed to the eldest son after the king passed away or stepped down from his position. Even though the king had absolute power, he worked closely with Amatyas, the Senapati, and the Purohit. Ministers aided the king in the day-to-day functioning of the kingdom. The Senapati helped him in maintaining armies and during times of war, and the Purohit helped in carrying out religious and social duties. One example of such a monarchy was the Magadha kingdom of southern Bihar. Next, administration. With time, some of the monarchs became very powerful. They started keeping large armies to attack and acquire other kingdoms and protect themselves from any such attack. Kings maintained their armies throughout the year by paying them regular salaries in cash and other produce. The money which was to be paid as salary to the army was collected from taxes levied on the citizens. Next, taxes from crops. Since most of the people were farmers, the majority of the taxes were collected from crops. The kings appointed collectors who would assess the farmers and their produce and collect a share or bhaga for the king. In the beginning, taxes were collected in the form of crops, but eventually they were collected in cash. The collectors also assessed craftsmen and other professionals who had to pay taxes by either delivering free service to the king or in the form of labor. The taxes that were thus collected were not only used for maintaining armies but also for building roads and other welfare activities. Next is agriculture. As discussed earlier, agriculture was the main occupation of the people in the Mahajanapadas. The extensive use of iron in making ploughshares and other agricultural implements led to an increase in the produce. Lands which were hard and difficult to till could now be ploughed easily with these new tools. In addition to this, people started paddy cultivation. Instead of throwing seeds in the soil like they used to earlier, people now grew saplings and planted them in the soil. This guaranteed that the saplings would survive and grow, which led to an increase in the production. Next, trade. As agriculture flourished, the need to fruitfully use the surplus production arose, means excess production. What was left after paying taxes and personal consumption was then let out in the market. Farmers sold off their goods to traders, who then got together in groups or guilds called shrainis and traveled to far off distances to sell off the produce. They traveled in carts or sailed down the rivers to go to places as far off as Taxila in northwest and Sopara on the west coast of India. Next, they may have traded the produce for money or other products. Other articles such as crafts, textiles and tools were also traded. From the seaports, the produce was also shipped to the foreign countries, thereby improving overseas trades. Taxes were levied on the selling of goods. Next, what about crafts? A variety of crafts were popular at this time. Chariot and cart making was a special art. Besides weaving, pottery and metalwork, A variety of fabrics such as muslin and silk began to be used as well as traded. Objects made of ivory and other metals were produced in huge quantities, especially the northern black polished ware. The craftsmen were also made to pay taxes to the king for selling their produce. Next, society and urbanization. The systems and culture of the people of the Janapadas and Mahajanapadas were the same as those of the people of the later Vedic age. Varna system, which by now had become the caste system, was prevalent. There was a sharp difference and disconnect between the people of the dominant caste and the subordinate caste. Reforms in religion demanded. Many Janapada and Mahajanapadas, especially the Ganasanghas, were against the closed caste system and refused to accept the authority of the dominant caste. Disillusioned and dissatisfied by the social and religious practices prescribed by the dominant caste. Complex and expensive rituals, sacrifices, and ceremonies, people started seeking different religious options, which gave birth to two important religions, that is Jainism and Buddhism. Okay. Next, larger towns developed. How towns are developed. As time passed, population increased, which saw rapid growth in the number of villages. As villages were scattered in the kingdom, there arose a need to have a chief who could be a link between the villagers and the king. This led to the appointment of the Gramini or Gramika, the head of the village. With time, some villages became bigger and superior, either by excelling in a particular craft or just by virtue of being located at a strategic spot. They began to be called as towns, and as the towns developed more into urban centers of trade, craft, and administration, they began to be acknowledged as cities. Okay, students, you read the lesson and understand very well. Okay, thank you.